Hello there, Internet friends. This is Danielle Pierce, creator of Property Preservation Mastery. Welcome back. For those of you who've been tuning in over the past several days, we've been sharing some information about one of our best kept secrets, which we like to call Live Launch Summit. Live Launch Summit is a half-day group training event hosted by myself, where it's designed to do two things and two things only. And if you've been paying attention to the other videos, then you know exactly what those two things are. If you have not, and this is your first video, I'll share with you again. Step one, Live Launch Summit will help you get your business set up from start to finish. So incorporation, DUNS, tax ID number, et cetera, et cetera. And then step number two, it's designed to help you get your insurance in place. So theoretically, you are then able to go out and be in position to start applying for contracts to do property preservation work. As always, come in, say hello, let me know where you're watching from. If you're brand new to the channel, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Wheresoever you might be watching this video, please make sure to do the following things: like, subscribe, and hit the share button. If you feel like you know someone who may be a good fit or is looking for a recession-proof business, is looking to get into real estate without selling anything, then please do send them our way. All righty. So I and Chloe are here to present the final recap session for Live Launch Summit. And if you're wondering who Chloe is my hair, which I think matches so well. All right, so I don't know if you guys got the joke, but if not, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so again, this is a Live Launch Summit recap session. Please go back and watch the prior training videos if you have not watched them. In the meantime, let's get started. So day one, we talked about critical business mistakes to avoid, and we specifically mentioned how you want to make sure that you do not pay to get your Dun and Bradstreet number. Getting your DUNS number is free. Now you can pay. This fee is for an expedited DUNS number. But again, if you contact them and you sound relatively confident, like a savvy business owner or entrepreneur, and you speak to them and you're very articulate, usually you get your DUNS number. I've seen people get it the same day. If you're very unsure, uncertain, a little bit insecure, and you just kind of like whispering on the phone, kind of got your Janet Jackson voice going on, then I've seen people take, I think the longest I've heard may have been a few months to get your DUNS number. So they are going to try to upsell you. That's their job. So be prepared for that. But you don't have to really pay Dun and Bradstreet for anything, not their business credit builder, which they're in trouble for right now. I won't get into that today, but if you Google it, you guys will be able to see what I'm talking about. But the DUNS number is free. So you want to make sure that you avoid paying for it and keep that money and use it for something like building your website. All right. Next thing, you want to make sure that you're not paying to get your SAMS registration. So SAMS registration is the process you go through and where you can, theoretically be in position to apply for government contracts. So that could be something like janitorial work, that could be something like roofing, that could be something like trash outs, debris removal. It could be something like disaster services that you provided after like a hurricane or a tornado around the country. It could be something like if you're a dog breeder and you breed police dogs. If you've never spent some time on the website just looking at the variety of government contracts that are available, I think it's useful to do that just to kind of see what's out there. Now, in order to be able to bid on those contracts, you do have to have a SAMS registration. So one thing I want you to know about SAMS registration is this, two things. One, it's free. I mentioned that before. So of course, there's companies that are willing to take your money and do it for you. It's a free, very, very straightforward process. Now, technically, when you're doing this, they do want you to have a physical office space. They tell you that virtual offices aren't allowed, blah, blah, blah. But I do know people personally who have virtual offices and still have their SAMS registration. So it depends upon where you live, how well known the virtual address is that you're using, and then also, I guess, how much attention the representative is paying when they're processing your SAMS registration. But again, it's supposed to be free. I do have it. This is my second year in a row having it. Haven't bid on any government contracts as of yet, but I do like to keep options open, especially when it's free. All right. So that's what we talked about on day one. So make sure you keep your money. So if you had paid for both of these things, you'd be out of about 520 bucks or so. And that is the money that you actually will be able to use to either build your website and also a little bit for your insurance down payment as well. So that's what we covered on day two, insurance mistakes. So I'm going to move this video up just a little bit so you can read the screen. But here's someone asking, hey, I have Payne West. I'm wondering if I can still work with this particular company, even though I don't have the insurance from the company that they want. So I mentioned a few days ago that some preservation companies tell you where you can go get your insurance. Now, whether or not that's legal or acceptable or morally correct, I'm not here to debate that, but I do know that that is a thing. And the reason why they do that is because preservation is a very specialized industry, and the insurance is also very specialized. And so they want to make sure that you have the insurance in place to cover preservation activities and not just a blanket insurance like what you might get from a typically from a State Farm or an Allstate or something like that. They want to make sure that you have insurance to cover evictions, trash outs, walking into houses that are full of mold or feces or rat droppings or raccoons, or people have set the house on fire. Any number of things can happen or go wrong when you're in the field. And so some companies want you to go through specific insurance companies. But I can tell you, if you don't have insurance from the company that they recommend or that they want you to have, then no, you won't be able to work with that particular company. That's the bad news. The good news is that there's other companies out there that are not quite as strict. So you want to make sure when you're getting your insurance that you avoid tying yourself into a company where you're not able to partner with them because you have insurance from the wrong company. All right. Day 3, we talked about building your website. So building a website, all you need is a one-page website with something like about us, contact us, services, and a button to click for people to do an application or send an email to work with your company. That's all you need. So no thousands of dollars, no specialized coding. You don't need like an expert to build this. Someone with very basic rudimentary website design skills could do it. I mean, I guess you could probably do it yourself. I didn't do mine myself, and I actually have not built a website ever. It's not my thing. However, if you're inclined to do so, you certainly could. But yeah, you just need one-page website. In the interim, if you're not able to build a website right away, I would recommend buying the domain name for the company that you, let's say your company's is Smith Field Services. So buy the domain name for Smith Field Services and then redirect that to a Facebook business page will be, I think, a good substitute for a one-page website. So if you just can't get the website done, you either don't understand it, you don't have the money, you don't feel like it's high priority, at the very least, create a free Facebook business page, buy the domain name and redirect your domain to your Facebook business page and keep it moving. All right. So that's what I want you to do there. So again, the website should not be something you spend months and hours thinking about. It should be something that you spend a couple of days getting done, which is exactly why it's able to be covered inside of Live Launch Summit, because it's a relatively straightforward process. All right. If you're following along with Live Launch Summit, and I hope that you will, you'll be able to see just how simple it is, get the process in motion during that half-day group training event. And then at the end of 24 to 48 hours, bam, your website is done. It's really just that simple. All right, moving on. So now we get into mindset. So we talked about this briefly a few days ago, but I think it's worth mentioning again, because again, many of you are new. You've never heard of Live Launch Summit or never heard me speak before. So when we think about a mindset for success in terms of property preservation, it is important you understand that it is getting harder to be successful in the industry. I don't know if that's a function of the pandemic, a function of the economy, or maybe both. I don't know if I think it's translating across other industries as well. I think just in general, things are kind of tightening up a little bit. And so you want to make sure that you have a mindset that is conducive to you getting the outcomes that you want. Now, granted, everybody don't need to make six figures. Everybody doesn't want to make six figures. Some folks just want to make an extra $2,000-3,000 a month. And I don't know about you, but $2,000-3,000 a month is a big deal. I mean, $3,000 is more than enough to cover my monthly housing bill, right? And $2,000 is, almost enough to cover it. So it's a pretty significant amount of money. And so everyone does not have the same goal. However, the mindset still has to be there. So what I'm showing you guys here on the screen is a screenshot from a student. This was a couple of months ago, but she was at her 4-week check-in and she'd already basically done work orders and received $1,200. So this is someone who is, they're going to be all right, for lack of a better phrase. They follow the blueprint. They're very proactive. They, consistent. showing up and doing the work and making things happen. So when you have that mentality coupled with that type of work ethic, there's nothing really that you can't do. And that could be preservation. Really, I think it applies. It's a useful skill set to have for anything that you decide to do. So here's someone at 4 weeks already making money. Our expectation at 4 weeks is that you are halfway through the course. Certainly not, doing contracts or doing applications, doing work orders, and actually getting paid. So she's far, far above where we would like to see, or where we expect to see many of our students. And here she is again at the 8-week mark saying, hey, I'm still working. I've turned down a couple of work orders. I've been doing inspections at $50 a piece. So again, this person is still generating money, still actively out in the field getting work done. And again, 8-week check-in, we're just literally checking in to say, hey, are you close to being completed? Here's where we think you should be. Here's where you can get back on track. If you've gotten off track, certainly not the expectation that you're actually in the field making any type of money. When we think about mindset to success, here's another person. So this is someone who actually went through Live Launch Summit and subsequently went on to get their very first contract to do preservation work. Now, I don't know what happened after this because they, as you can see here, they said, hey, I followed exactly what you said. I just got a contract to go cover this particular area. I don't even know what city and state she's in. She's like, I don't quite know what to do. I wasn't ready. I'm in the process of getting laid off. My money is funny, but when I do get my money together, I'm going to register for the full course. So I don't think that happened. I got to double check. I'm pretty sure that she didn't. But either way, this person went through Live Launch Summit, did everything that they were supposed to do, and went on to received an offer to do preservation work for the city and state in which she lives. So that is a big deal. And again, it just goes to show you that, we stand by everything we put out 2000%, right? And so this Live Launch Summit is an excellent event that does exactly what we say that it's going to do. All right, when we think about mindset, not really, I didn't want to say failure per se, because failure really, I failed countless times, all the time. I feel like, I don't want to say it's a part of my life, but it's been pretty significant. And so just because you fail at something once doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be that way forever. So when we think about a mindset that could, I should say, potentially could lead to failure, right? So here's someone who says, hey, I can't find my receipts. Can you send them over? Hey, I missed a discount. Can I still get it? I'm 45 minutes late. Hey, I missed a discount again. Can I still get it? Hey, I never started. Can someone reach out to me? I'm overwhelmed as to where to start. So this is someone who, again, not necessarily I can't say that they're implicitly going to fail, but they're struggling. And it's due to a combination of factors, right? Probably having a lot going on, life be life, and as they say. So there's always personal things that kind of pop up to serve as roadblocks, or they can be roadblocks. At least that's been my experience. I don't know about you guys. I feel like it's probably the same for everyone. And then there's probably other jobs, that this person may have. Maybe they have a 9-to-5, maybe they have children, maybe they have a husband or, a husband to take care of or partner with. So there's a lot of factors that come into play. And so what happens inside of Property Preservation Mastery, the full program, is that there's a bunch of information in the course itself. It's 7 modules, but it's 63. The Quick Start Guide is 63 pages by itself. There's 7 modules, and there's also like over 60 lessons as well. Great news is that the information is in short, bite-sized chunks. So it's not like the 2-hour videos, 3-hour videos that you can't ever get through. I had a 3-hour training video. It was a great, fantastic video. It was a dreams workshop, and I was so excited to do it. I was like, this is great. I want to finish it. It took me a period of like 5 days to get through this 3 hours. And I usually will speed up the pace at which I listen to videos, because I find that most people talk really, really slow. And my mind wanders when people are like drawling and like talking, super slow. I guess conversely, that's why some people say that I talk, relatively quickly. But I finally got through it. And I'm making this point because this is a video that I wanted to get through. I wanted to learn about the different aspects of the dreams workshop. I wanted to, make my dreams list. And real quick, I'll actually even share with you guys what the categories, in case you decide that you want to do that. This is just a quick aside, and we'll quickly get back on track. But the categories were travel, adventure, material things, vocation, career, financial. That's one category. Health and wellness, spirituality and faith, family and relationships, skills and creativity, and number 8 was legacy. And so all you do is kind of go through and just put down like bucket list items, like things you really want to do across those various categories. So again, that training 3 hours long, took me like 5 days to get through it. So anytime I'm putting out a product, I'm always very mindful of the fact that people may or may not have ADD, but either way, nobody has hours to spend watching, somebody babble on in a video. So I tend to keep most of the videos that I ever put out relatively short. All right. So moving on, we're still talking about mindset to failure, or mindset that you want to kind of stay away from. So this is an email that came in a few days ago, which I thought was pretty funny. Of course, I'm not going to put the person's name out there, but they were like, well, I spent money in the Black Business School with Boyce Watkins. I hate math and money. I can't focus. He's your friend. Tell him transfer funds to your school account. This was the whole email. No context, kind of hard to read. Not anybody that I or anyone else on the team knows, but just very much so a sense of entitlement. Like, hey, I spent money with this, this other company. Y'all know each other. Go get the money from him and let me inside of your program. Like, what type of like, don't send stuff like this. If you ever send messages like this and this kind of email resonates with you, please don't ever register for anything that we offer, because it's going to be a very difficult transaction on both sides. So again, this is what I would consider to be something that, just don't do that. Okay. Don't send messages like that. It's not appropriate. So now let's get into questions about Live Launch Summit. If you have other ones, you can drop them in the chat, drop them in the comment section. If there's time, I'll get to them. But I'm pretty sure that I'm going to cover your question inside of the next several minutes or so. So the first question, of course, people often ask is, how much is Live Launch Summit? Live Launch Summit is $497. I'll repeat that, $497. And there is a 50% discount available to our subscriber community. That means that if you're on our email list, you will pay $247 to attend Live Launch Summit. All right, $247. If you're not on our email list, go to propertypreservationmastery.com, complete our readiness assessment. You'll be on our email list, and then you'll receive an invitation with this discounted offer today. It will expire at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. After that, you'll pay $497. But again, if you're on our email list, Live Launch Summit is only $247. Moving on. Is Live Launch Summit a replacement for Property Preservation Mastery? It is not a replacement for Property Preservation Mastery. All right, I want to make that clear. So because we sometimes get emails that'll say, hey, I heard the course of $500. You heard wrong. Live Launch Summit is a half-day group training event hosted by myself. It's 4.5 hours long. It starts at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. Of course, you get like a 15 or 20-minute break in there. It is a half-day group training event where you follow along screen by screen, and you go through the steps of setting up your business and getting your insurance. You should have your debit card ready, your computer out, and you should be prepared to pay for things as they come up throughout the process and get those things in motion. So you're paying for your background check that day. You're paying to get your website started that day. You're paying a deposit on your insurance either that day or the next business day. So it is an active hands-on workshop. It's not just me talking and you listening and taking notes and going back, taking notes that you probably will never refer to again. All right. So again, not a replacement for the full program. It is the first 15% of Property Preservation Mastery. All right. Is Live Launch Summit a virtual or in-person event? It is a virtual event. You can do it anywhere where there's a Wi-Fi connection. All you have to do is be able to check your email and have a strong internet connection. This question, if I register for Live Launch Summit and decide later that I want to register for the full Property Preservation Mastery course, is the full course price still $2,497? So the answer to that is this. Students who opt to register for the full program within 14 days of attending the summit, they'll receive a discount on the full purchase price. And we have some really, really outstanding bonuses that are included for those people as well. So again, after you register for Live Launch Summit, after you attend that, if you purchase the full program within 14 days, you will receive a discount, and then there are some bonuses that you'll be offered as well. Will you provide a list of companies to partner with for preservation work during Live Launch Summit? The answer to that is no, we do not. That is included inside of the full Property Preservation Mastery Program. It's not a part of Live Launch Summit. All right, so again, that's why we continue to kind of beat home the point that it's not they're not interchangeable things. It's not like you do one or the other. I mean, you could always do one or the other. Let me clarify that. You can do whatever you want, but our intention is not that Live Launch Summit be offered as a replacement to property preservation mastery. It is simply a way for you to dip your toe in the water, as we said in the beginning, and just kind of decide once and for all, is property preservation what you want to do? Will it work for you? And do you work for that particular industry? Will you cover bid preparation, hiring, price sheets, operating guides, onboarding paperwork, or dealing with contractors during Live Launch Summit? The answer to that is, again, nope, we do not. Live Launch Summit will help you get your business off the ground and help you get your insurance in place. Those two things and those two things only. If you follow along, you'll have all that stuff done in about, we'll say, 3-4 days, if you're diligent and you're taking the steps on the screen as I'm showing you how to do it. All right. Moving on. If I have an existing LLC, can I use that for my property preservation business? So this question comes in a lot. It's honestly a better question for a CPA. What I will say is that LLCs are supposed to be governed by their operating agreement, which basically tells what the entity can and cannot do. So if you have an existing LLC, you have to go look at the operating agreement and determine what that entity was supposed to be doing. It may be in alignment with property preservation. It may not, but that's a question that you'll have to get a definitive answer from a CPA, which is not me. Will you refund the price if Live Launch Summit doesn't work for me? The answer to that is going to be no, we're not going to refund the price. The only way a Live Launch Summit will not work for you is if you don't do any of the steps. Other than that, it is pretty freaking solid, and it's really pretty difficult to screw it up. You can ask questions during the event. All you have to do is follow along. You have lifetime access to the recordings. There's no way it doesn't work. The only way it doesn't work is if you just decide that you're not doing any parts of it. And in that event, no, we don't offer refunds for that. Will I be able to ask questions during Live Launch Summit? The answer to that is going to be yes. You can ask questions in there's going to be a chat box. You can drop your questions in there and we will be able to get to them during the event. How long will I have access to Live Launch Summit? The answer to that is forever. It doesn't expire. You'll have access to it to refer back to. I don't know that you'll need to refer back to it that frequently. It just depends upon how well you navigate those steps as I go through them, but you do have the option to do so if you need to. What will I walk away with after attending Live Launch Summit? This is what they say as the people in the back. If you just hopping in late, you scrolling on your phone, you just, popping in from Instagram or something like that. I want to reiterate again what exactly you're going to receive after you attend or during the time that you're attending Live Launch Summit. Business registration, right? Whether that be using your Secretary of State's website, whether that be utilizing Inc. for free, whether you're going through nav.com's website, your business is going to be registered during Live Launch Summit. Your tax ID number, you will be able to get your tax ID number as soon as you have your paperwork back for your LLC formation. So tax ID number won't happen that same day. I shouldn't say most, there's probably no standard, but depending upon where you live, you could have your registration back in 2 days, 3 days. I've seen some people claim that it was taking a couple of months due to COVID. Just depends on, where you live and how efficient they are. But as soon as you have that back, you'll be able to log online and get your tax ID number because I show you the link to go and get that done. Very easy stuff. Your DUNS number, you'll request it that day. Again, depends on how good your negotiating skills are, how good you sound over the phone, how hungry your representative is to make a commission. It's a bunch of factors that tie into whether or not they're going to release your number that day. But yeah, you could get it that day, or it might take a couple of days or a couple of weeks. But nevertheless, you're going to start it during that Saturday event. business address. So you're going to figure out which virtual address you're going to utilize. I don't recommend going to pay for physical office space at this time. That's not, a prudent use of money in my humble opinion. So I wouldn't do that, but you will be able to identify which company you want to pay to utilize as your business address, business phone number. I mean, there's Ring Central, Grasshopper, um, dozens and dozens of options to choose from, but you're going to set up your business phone number that day. Background check, you will initiate it that day. Usually that takes a couple days. I've had some people mess around and take a couple of months during a background check because they were opting out of everything and making the process more difficult. They didn't want to do it online, and so that process took way longer. But as long as you haven't hopped around and lived in 12 different states, background check takes about 48 hours to come back. You'll also identify where you want to open your business bank account at. Now, you might not open the account that day because you have to have your tax ID number and your business registration back. But over the next several business days, that bank account you're going to identify the bank first. I give you a list of, some of the best business bank accounts or business banks, and then you'll open that account up and you will be on your way. All right, website design, you're going to initiate the process on that day. We're going to pick a designer, pick out what you're going to tell them, buy the domain name. All that's going to be done on the same day during Live Launch Summit. We're going to complete multiple insurance applications. You will be able to see me do it on screen from start to finish. You will have clarity of purpose. I should have started with clarity of purpose because that's priceless. Basically, you go know, okay, can I get through this program or not? Everybody is not able. And I'd like to say that, anyone can do it, everybody can do it. But I don't know I know for a fact that that's not the case. If you struggle with getting through Live Launch Summit, you're going to have a hell of a time getting through Property Preservation Mastery. And it's better that you know that now by spending, $247 if you're on our email list, $497 otherwise. It's better that you find that out for that small amount of money versus dropping $2,500 and being like, oh man, this is too hard for me to get through. So we want you to be able to figure that out up front. Momentum. Momentum is priceless. Momentum means that you are in the mode of being able to get shit done. Like that, money can't buy that. So momentum yields massive results, typically in shorter amounts of time. And it is a very useful thing to be able to call upon when you need it, because when you're uncertain what to do or you just don't feel like doing things, when you're in a season of momentum, you tend to go ahead and get those things done anyway, as opposed to just being left to your own devices and doing nothing. You'll also receive a glimpse into our community. So as part of Live Launch Summit, you'll have access to one of our Facebook groups for just, I think it's a 14-day period. So you'll be able to kind of try it out, see how the groups are run, see what the other people are doing, look at some of the past success stories, look at some of the other challenges that other people have had, and you'll be able to just kind of see how useful that community is. Community with regard to property preservation is everything. Really, community with regard to any industry, I think, is everything, because it's very useful to have folks around you who are walking the same path and doing the same things that you're doing, versus you trying to talk to people and they're like, what are you doing? Why are you doing insurance? I was talking to one of our students a couple of days ago, and she said that she has a best friend who always like hypes her up and kind of shares her business with everybody. And she says the last time there was a guy who walked up to her and was just like, how did you get into this? Like, how are you doing what you're doing? Like, how did you even learn about it? And so the guy was just basically floored that she, probably because she was a woman, that is my guess, but I could be wrong. But he was just basically, just surprised that she was doing it. And so again, going back to that community piece, it is critical to have folks around you who speak the same language you do, who walk the same walk, and who, you guys are kind of in the fight together. I think that's a very undervalued benefit with regard to property preservation and really any other thing that you decide to do. And then again, you have lifetime access to the replay. So it's not going to expire. It's not a case where it's a one-day training and then it's like, oh my gosh, you never can see it again unless you pay again. I really don't like those to set up any trainings that we do that work that way, unless it's an in-person training. Now that's different, right? I'm not about to make another trip to come do a whole live presentation in front of anybody again. But if it's, if we're talking virtual events, you'll have lifetime access to that replay, and you'll be able to access it whenever you decide that, you need to. So once again, if Live Launch Summit is a struggle, we don't want your money for the full program. We'd rather you take that money and figure out which niche in real estate really works best for your personality, your budget, your lifestyle. We don't want you to take get into our program and it's just a constant struggle from day one. Like, that's not the intended goal of the program. If you're watching this on social media, and you want to learn more and you want to get on our email list, go to propertypreservationmastery.com, complete a very short readiness assessment, and you'll be added to our email list, and you'll be able to receive the discount for Live Launch Summit so that you can pay $247 as opposed to $497. I do want to say this: the discount that we're offering to our subscribers is going to expire at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you want to receive that discount, you want to make sure that you are on our email list and you go ahead and register before that discount expires. So the link to register is going to be propertypreservationmastery.com/live-launch-summit. I want to take a screenshot here. I'll also leave it on the screen for a few moments. So if you've heard enough, you've been following along from the very beginning, or you just hopped into this video and you're like, oh my gosh, this sounds wonderful, I want to do this. I've been thinking about preservation. I haven't been sure. I've been watching all these videos. I've been following different people. I think that's the phrase that I hear most frequently. Like, I've been following you and some other people. That's great. But getting into action will tell you definitively better than anything else will. Like, I could sit here and tell you about all the pros and cons of preservation all day, every day, until I'm blue in the face. And it still may occur for you as, uncertainty or, not being clear or just being not sure what preservation is and whether or not it'll work for you. But once you register for Live Launch Summit, once you start this half-day group training, once you're in front of your computer with your debit card out and you're following along these steps, you're going to be able to know real quickly, are you able to successfully navigate Live Launch Summit and get your basic business off the ground and get your insurance in place? Or if you feel like that is a very, very heavy lift for you, then you'll want to rethink whether or not you want to do property preservation. All right. So again, the link propertypreservationmastery.com/live-launch-summit. That's all I have for you today. I do want to thank you guys for tuning in over the past several days. Appreciate all your comments, appreciate the feedback. I appreciate the likes, subscribes, and shares. I love to be able to get this information out to as many people as I possibly can. I don't take credit for being I don't take credit for the success of our students 100%. I don't feel like they could never have done the things that they've done without me. The only thing that I will take credit for is being a catalyst, someone who provides resources, someone who's provides proof that things can be done, someone who's been very, very consistent, someone who's been very, very encouraging, someone who's answering, question after question after question, who's put out so much content over the last several years with regard to property preservation, who's been able to kind of really, identify who I think will make it and who may not make it. Those are the only things that I take credit for. But the people who come in $10,000 a month, like the student I talked to the other day, $15,000 just this past month, I can't take credit for that. But man, when I tell you that is a fantastic month to be able to make $15,000 in the midst of the current economic state without working a job. She has a background in mental health. She's been doing it for probably 17, 18 years, but being able to, kind of turn that one income stream, off or turn it down and kind of get into something brand new and have it produce $15,000, that is a wonderful feeling. And that feeling is what I want for as many people as possible, right? I want you to know what it feels like to go out and earn money inside of your own business, inside of your own company, working with your family or your friends or people that you don't necessarily know as well. But I think that is where the power comes in. It is when you're able to do that. That is what I think causes people to have financial shifts as opposed to empowerment and rhetoric and making people feel good. I think that giving people a path to money that they can actually see and sustain, I think that is priceless, y'all. I think that's priceless. So that's what I want for you. I want you to know what it feels like to go out and earn money that's from your own company. And last thing I'll say, because I know I'm on my soapbox right now, the first dollar you earn from what you know, right, or your first business, that first dollar, $50, whatever that amount is, it feels amazing. And once you get that, then it's just a matter of time before you can do more. Like one of our students said, when I got to 3,000, I knew I could do 6. When I got to 6, I knew I could do 10. And she went on to do exactly that. So that's what I want for you. All right. So thank you for tuning in. Appreciate your time. As always, sending you guys love, light, peace, blessings, grace, and clarity. Hope to see you at our next live launch summit happening this Saturday, 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. The link is on the screen. If you're on our email list, it's $247, best $250 that you're going to spend in your life. So I encourage you to go ahead and register. For everyone else, I'll see you guys on the other side. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.